Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Ultimate Rush. Ultimate Rush is brought to you by Purple Wizard. It's for 2 to 6 players, ages 8 and up, and games range anywhere from 10 to 40 minutes. In Ultimate Rush, portals have opened up above the kingdom. And yes, monsters are dropping through and attacking and ravaging the kingdom, destroying everything they can and stealing all the gold. The king has commanded you and your fellow players to take on these monsters and take them out before the kingdom and all the gold is gone. However, one of you will be the ultimate monster slayer and the most famous of the land, and if so, the king will throw a party in your honor. So your ultimate goal here is to have the most fame of the land. And in the midst of that, you'll be doing some real-time gameplay, as well as some strategy about getting treasures and defeating the right monsters in order to gain those fame points. So here's what a standard setup's gonna look like. Now, based on the player count, we'll determine a few things like however many round tokens are available, how many cards are in play, things of that nature. But you have your monster deck. You'll be dealing those out, again, based on the number of players, and your market deck. Again, based on the number of players, will determine how many of each of these decks get put out on the table. And you have your round tracker. The round tracker has some additional details on it as well for end of game scoring. But around the edge is where you'll track the rounds. Each game is only 4 rounds. And each player receives a character sheet. Now, again, based on the player count, will determine your starting health, but you always start at 1 energy. Each player also receives a set of 4 power cards that can be upgraded through the market as you play. Now, just a little bit closer look at your character sheet. You'll notice around the edges, obviously you're tracking your health, you're tracking your energy, and those are the main things. Now, also in the middle here are some graphics to show you how you can spend that energy. You're going to spend it to get coins, you'll get power for attacking, or health. Or you may spend a bunch of energy to attack all your fellow players at the table, denoted by this little explodey icon, which you'll find out in the cards at the table as well. So you're going to be not only going after these monsters, but you might be sabotaging your fellow players. Also, the middle graphic shows kind of the flow of gameplay, which we'll get into next. Each game is divided into 4 rounds, and each of those rounds has 5 phases to it. It sounds like a lot, but it's really not. So the first thing you're going to do is the real-time aspect of this game. It's creating coins and attack value for you to go after monsters and market cards. Now the way this works is you take your power cards and you'll shuffle them up and keep them face down. Everyone flips them simultaneously and you're going to build a 2x2 grid trying to complete circles. The purple circles are going to be your attack value, and the gold is your gold value for purchasing in the marketplace. So you'll try to complete your 2x2 grid before anybody else, and once you do, then you're going to grab one of the turn order tokens. Now, if you're the last player to grab a token, well, you can take your time building your grid because there's only 1 token out there to grab. There's not a time limit here, however, you don't want to take forever, but you're trying to optimize your power cards in order to get you the best gold and attack value. And just a quick note on these round markers. Now, a reason you may not grab the first round markers because maybe you're after some of these resources that are on these markers, because as you acquire them, you are going to get things like coins and health and extra attack or double energy, things like that. So there might be a reason to go last. So then, following the turn order tokens, you'll move around the table, starting with the first player. They'll go to the market and purchase one of the cards. The gold value in the top right corner will determine how much gold it costs. Now, these cards are going to all be basically moved to your discard pile for calculating points at the end of the game. Some important things to note in the bottom left corner is the value, the fame points that you're going to get for that card. The purchase value is in the top right corner. And the thing is, you'll notice there's like a ring here that's a 0 value. Well, if you go back to the round marker, you'll see this grid showing different treasures. If you get a certain number of treasures, will give you fame points at the end of the game. So it's a set collection a little bit. And then there's ways to improve your power cards. If you get a power card, you're going to basically swap it out for one of the cards that you currently have in your hand. And it's going to give you extra gold when you complete those gold, or it'll give you extra attack when you complete an attack circle. And then there's other things here too, giving you health and energy for your character. So there's a lot of different things that you can acquire in the marketplace. Next up, you're going to attack one of the available monsters. Take a look at what's out here. If there are any monsters with a black border, that is a boss monster, and you must always attack that monster first. However, the thing is that if you don't have enough attack value to destroy any of the monsters out here, you still have to pick somebody to attack because they're going to do damage to you either way. So it's best to pick somebody with the least amount of damage unless there's a boss out there that you have to attack. So the way these monster cards break down is we'll take a look at this boss monster, and the first value on the top right is the value you need to attack and defeat this monster. The bottom value is going to be the damage that they return to you, and you're always going to receive damage. Then along the bottom is all your rewards. In this case, you're going to get 1 fame point at the end of the game. You get 3 energy you're going to mark on your character sheet, and you get a treasure item, hopefully set collection, that you're creating for your character in order to get fame points at the end of the game. Now, another option you might do on your turn for defeating monsters is that you could use the portal option and attack the monster at the top of the deck. However, every time you do that, you get double the damage. So you're really gambling. There's definitely a push your luck element here, but it only costs you 1 attack value to do so. Throughout the course of the game, you're going to be taking damage from the monsters and possibly from your fellow players. So there is a bit of a take that. Now, if you are able to complete all 4 rounds without dying once, then you're going to get 3 extra fame points. However, 1 death, then you get no fame points. And if there's 2 deaths, then you're going to get a -5. However, on your 3rd death, you really are out of the game and you can no longer win. Now, just a couple other things of note. There's some special icons that you'll run across as you're getting these cards. There's a shield icon allowing you to block all damage from that monster on that round. There's also treasure icons that allow you to get an extra card. And there are ways to do sneak attacks where you'll basically run around a boss and attack any other creature in the row. And then there's also portal jumps. Portal jumps are neat because it's the one way that you can actually attack multiple monsters on your turn. And then there are ways to actually steal, or not steal, but to acquire the first player token in order to be first in that next round. So there's a lot of different things that can happen through the course of the game as you acquire cards, as you defeat monsters, as you get treasures, and then you move to the end after the 4th round and you calculate all your fame points. And again, that's going to be done by calculating the fame point score in the bottom left corner of all the cards that you've acquired, as well as any sets that you've acquired of treasure. You're going to look at the guide on the round marker to determine your points that you receive at the end of the game, as well as looking at your death points. Potentially, if you arrived here unscathed, you actually get 3 extra fame points. You're going to calculate all your scores, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game is going to be the most famous warrior of the land. And of course, if there's ties here, well, the king is super generous, and it is going to be a mutual party that he throws for everyone, giving multiple players the win at the end of the game. Alright folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview. Everything you've seen here has been in prototype form, so keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that may occur. Now, I feel like this is a pretty family-friendly game. There is some take that, so be aware of that. But it's easy to pick up, easy to bring in new players, and I like the fast-paced nature of it. That really was engaging. The games move really quick, you can play really quickly actually, and the artwork is pretty neat. But ultimately folks, if this looks like a game that would be of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it from me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.